Hello, everybody. The Talk Heavy Set crew. I'm here today with a wonderful guest, the one, the only, magnificent C-Mack.
Hey, man, you know what it is, man. I'm happy to be here, man.
Yo, I appreciate you for coming through.
For sure.
It's all good. But I want to go straight into it. I'm going to ask him some things because I think he got a lot of content to share for us. And you can get to know him and know what he got coming. But to start off with, give us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was raised in Salisbury, Maryland. I lived there pretty much like up until I was like a teenager. Then I moved to Delaware. Then I pretty much been up here ever since. Probably been doing music like seriously like 10 years now. You know what I mean? And been in the Eastern Shore my whole life. My family's originally, my father's family's from here. My mother is from Hawaii. So, yeah, my mother's Hawaiian. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So, as far as, you said you took it seriously for a decade. So, before the decade, was it like instrumentals?
I mean, it was a lot of like, it was like in high school. In high school, I had, everybody, like, by the time I got into high school, I was like, everybody kind of knew me everybody that knew me for rapping. You know what I mean? I was always rapping. Always like freestyling and shit, lunchroom shit. Excuse me. But, I got to high school and I used to go to school with my homie, Young Mose. He's a battle rapper or whatever and producer. You know, shout out to him. He's like, man, for real, I be recording at my crib. Like, you should come through.
Okay.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So I go to his crib, and then I started, like, just laying, like, freestyles and shit down, like, all the time. Like, you know what I mean? So that was, like, my real, like, introduction into, like, recording and stuff like that.
Right.
And then...
so did he push you to it? Like, or did you feel, like, more and more comfortable and then you grew?
I'm about to say, it took some time at first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I had, like, hella freestyles and shit that I was, like, handed out in high school and shit like that. So like I said, like everybody kind of knew me for that anyway. So
but when you handed it out, did you hand it out like in terms of selling, or you put it on a CD?
I was putting on all types of CDs. Everybody might have had the same songs, but they was in different orders and shit like that. Like I was just
burning CDs,
putting them shits together for my homies, and you know what I mean, in high school and stuff like that. So then once I got out of high school, then it was like then I just got into a space where it's like, man, I really think I want to do something with this, and I think I really want to make something of it.
Right.
You know, I started college. It didn't take me long to realize, you know, I don't think this shit is me.
I
don't think this shit's gonna work out. And
right.
It was just, you know what I mean, just going from there, man.
Right. Now, obviously, like you said, you did rap battling. Like that's one of the things that I saw like early on. Obviously, you went away from that. Because you started off with freestyling.
Yeah. So,
like, do you prefer freestyling over laying a track, or?
Oh, no. Music is my passion. I prefer music. That's why doing the battle thing was really, we had already started the league and we wanted to create a platform for, like, you know, MCs to really, like, get their shine on and really build names for themselves. But the events were doing well, but we wanted to push it over the top. So we you know, Platt, Free Platt, that's my man, that's one of my business partners. He came to me, he's like, man, I really think you should do one. You know what I mean? Like if you do it, it'll really get the, you know what I mean? It'll really give it that, you know, because everybody knew me for the music at that point. So I was like, well, fuck it, I'll do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, so we did it. I did what I think, like 3 or 4 in a small span of time, but it was just, it's not my passion. You know what I mean? I enjoy. As far as battle rap is concerned, I enjoy being a fan and enjoy seeing cats that it was like such a dope thing to see cats that I've known Tommy Fishscale for forever. I've known Mose for forever. I've known 80 Bars for forever. Right. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of cats, Jay Belize, the T9. I've known these cats for a long time, but it's just like maybe not musically, they might not have gotten the notoriety at that point in time. Not to say they have it now, but at that point in time, they might not have gotten the notoriety that, like, that me and people around me like had seen for them. So it's just giving them a different avenue to kind of put themselves out and kind of show off their talent and what they can do and like
and their passion.
Battling, you know what I mean? Battling, like some cats just kind of got it and they took to it. Like everybody wasn't really battling. Tommy Fishscales is just a battle rapper by nature. Like, you know what I mean? But certain cats, it was just like they just found a niche in it. Like Young Mo's like found a niche. 80 Bars found his niche. T Hood too. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of cats come up and build names for themselves here.
Right.
So it was a really dope experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I actually only saw you in 3. So when you said 3 or 4, but I would still see you there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was thinking like, well, I guess he's there for support. So you've always been like a supportive type of person.
I always support a lot of. I've supported most of the battlers. A lot of them. You know, going on the road with them.
Right.
I've traveled out of town, Virginia, New York.
Right. Have you ever felt like you had to support people that didn't have much talent, but they really had a passion for it and a hunger, so you just supported because they was your people?
If I feel like this, if the hunger is there, if the hunger is there, then you can convey that to an audience. I don't have to be a super duper fan of your material. Like, you know what I mean? I remember, and this is my guy, I remember when people would try to like kind of shun 80 Bars as style, and then I'm just like, but when we start hitting the road, and he starts hitting the road, and he's doing battles out of town, and as time progresses, people are taking to his performances. I'm like, shit, you can't stun on that now. I don't care if you don't like the content or not. I'm like, man, there's a certain level of showmanship that people are taking to. So it's like, how can you not support? How can I not support that? It would be the same with music. If, like, you know, I mean, I'm not a super duper fan of everybody's music, but I love to see people win the way that they want to win. So you know what I mean? It's like, hey,
yeah, I can respect that. So who did you grow up listening to, and which one had the most influence on you and your music, like growing up?
So when I first started like writing raps, I used to listen like Eminem. I'm still a super Eminem fan. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a super Eminem fan. So I used to take his songs and I would like flip the verses and shit. Like not necessarily writing total pieces of like original shit. Like I would just flip his bars and shit like that. That was kind of how I started. And then as time went on, I want to say my next favorite rapper was probably like Cassidy at a point in time.
Oh yeah.
And you know what I mean? So that's when I got into like really like punchline heavy shit. And still to this day, like, you know, there's still inklings of that in the music because people still know me like, yo, your punchlines is crazy. Like, you know, so
look, on that note, I'm sort of fast forwarding, but there was a line on your intro. Killed, like, I mean, it's off his new project, but I'm paraphrasing, but you said your bars are as stupid as Donald Trump
I said,
supporters going to the podium.
Bars stupid like Trump voters taking the podium. Like, yeah, I mean, you know, and it's like, that was just one aspect that I fell in love with, like, you know, punchline, and it's so, like, to me, to a lot of fans, they'd be so enticed and so intrigued by it. I'm like, to me, it's nothing, because I'm like, you know, it's easy, you know, it's just, from a literary point of view, I'm like, it's just a reference, it's just a reference, so, you know what I mean? But a lot of people like that from me in my material and shit like that, so that's one of my guns that I try to stick to, you know what I mean, as far as, like, coming up with verses and stuff like that, like I like, you know what I mean, punch, especially, and then in battling it, you know what I mean, like in that realm, you know, it's kind of based around a lot of that too, like, you know, so it was always like, shit, I'm like, you know, that's why people always felt like, even though I was focused on music, people always felt like battling was catered towards me, just because I was just a punchline heavy person, so like, you know what I mean, so it's like, shit, of course you can do it, you know, so.
They saw the talent, basically, but I think that's one of the reasons why, like, I'm fond of your rap and your lyricism is because, like, I'm the biggest Lil Wayne fan on planet Earth.
One of the best.
So, like, in terms of punchlines, he was always on it. So, like, when I hear certain stuff, like, you'll talk about Majin Buu or...
Listen. Wayne goes in a category. Listen, you have your... When people think punchlining, right, and this is, like, one of my things I always say, I'm like, when people think punchlining, we think of A-B formats, punching, your Cassidys, your Lloyd Bankses, your Fabs, your Jadakisses.
Fabs is good.
And they're amazing at what they do. This is no, you know what I mean, not to slight, and no slight towards what they do. But I'm like, there's a different class of punchers. Me personally, I always call it indirect punching because it's sort of like the setup might not give you the direction of where the punch is going.
Right.
Wayne. 2 Chainz, Big Sean.
Oh, Big Sean, definitely.
They're like three of my favorite. I'm like, they're a different class of puncher. I'm not saying that they're better. I'm saying just a different style of puncher. And I'm like, the way that I guarantee this, bro. This is one thing that I always tell like my homies, like when we arguing in the booth. I'm like, yo, bro, in 10 years, the way that people treat Fab, they will treat Big Sean. You'll see hella new artists that can rap, wanting to do records with Sean. I promise you. I'm like, they're going to treat him the way Sean, Wayne, and 2 Chainz. Like, you know what I mean? They're going to treat them the way that people treat Fab and Kiss now. I'm like, Fab and Kiss been them niggas. I'm
Especially Fab.
Like, it's weird to see people like treat Fab, not say weird to treat him, but I'm like, they treat Fab like he just got nice. Like, Fab has been that. Like,
but he's not mainstreaming though. That's the difference.
And music moves in that kind of way too. It's like, when we're so used to all the newer things, sometimes the older things be so intriguing. I'm like, yo, bro, he been doing this. And we do that, and we do that about music overall. Like, LMA, Boot Up record.
Yeah.
Dope record. I love it to death. If you ever see me in a bar drunk, people know that like that's my shit song. Like, but it's a really just I don't want to say cookie cutter, but like a really traditional R&B song. Yeah. But because R&B has shifted to such a new wave and sound with Ty Dolla Signs, the direction Chris Brown takes his music in.
Chris Brown especially.
People hear LMA, this very just traditional R&B song about just being in love. And they're like, yo, this shit is fucking out of this world. I'm like, bro,
it's real simple.
This is a real traditional R&B song. You know, it's like, it gets like that. That's why I say that people like Wayne, people like Sean, people like 2 Chainz, years from now, in about 10 years, people will have a new fondness or appreciation for what they do.
Okay, so this is top 5. Give me a top 5 rappers
of now or just
not
all
now,
time?
all time. I mean, because the one now could be in your top 5. So, but either way, thus far time. I always say thus far time. Okay. All time would be
Eminem.
Okay. Number 1. Or no order.
No order.
No order. Okay.
No order. Eminem. I'll say why. Eminem, that's my personal pick, and it's just I just think that the skill that he exhibits is just, you can't quantify how dope Eminem is. Like, when we talk about him, you know, people are like, oh, I don't like it because his content so this, that, and the third, or so off the wall, this, that, and the third. And then, you hear him. But this is always a conversation while Eminem's not playing. Right. Then he comes on and like, oh shit, fuck.
But what if it's his corny ones? Like,
they exist. And
but I'm saying those are the ones that confuse people.
Yeah. No, and I feel like
if that wasn't the case, if those didn't exist in the bars, like. Because I fuck with Eminem too. Like the 8 Mile track. Yeah. Mom spaghetti, knees weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on the sweater.
Yeah. Yo, bar heavy. Those are bar heavy. I'm like, but we talking about rapping. And that's why I always have to ask people. I'm like, what are we talking about? Especially in comparison. I'm like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the reason why Eminem is the best to me? Is because he fits in both conversations. What are we talking about? Are we talking just pure skill? He's still one of the top MCs.
Oh yeah.
Are we talking about accolades?
He's there too.
You know what I mean? So that's why to me, Eminem is a more concrete choice. You know what I mean? Even the argument of Jay-Z. Well, I'll go ahead and say Jay-Z. So
Jay-Z, so that's number 2.
For me, Eminem's always over Jay-Z because Jay-Z fits in another just people, the view of him is just different. People look at, but I'm like, his albums aren't classic from front to back.
As of late, or are you talking about every album?
Ever. I don't like.
Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt is a classic.
Okay.
No. We're talking about full body of work. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
You know, you have Reasonable Doubt. You have Blueprint 2. You have even some people make an argument for like the Black Album.
Most definitely.
There's the argument for 444 just because of the climate that it came out in.
Most definitely. And how real
but I mean, people say, well, Eminem doesn't have enough classics. Well, you know, neither does Jay-Z. But I'm saying, but if we're talking rapping skill, I feel like Eminem would, kind of is a shoe-in over as far as just the overall skill aspect of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
When people say Renegade, all right, when people talk about Renegade with Eminem and Jay-Z, and you have some people over the years, Nas said the whole like, oh, Eminem bodied you on your own song. And then people like, they go back and listen like, nah, Jay-Z shit was tight.
Mm-hmm.
Eminem was just Eminem, and he was a step ahead.
Right.
But you have to keep in mind that that song was already done.
Okay.
So Jay-Z, for me, when a nigga send me a song and a verse is already on it, I'm expected to be better than that verse because I already had the template.
You know what he coming with.
He had the template laid in front of him already, and M was still a step ahead.
Right.
So that just shows the level of skill that just M,
for him to be better.
Yeah. And you wrote your verse second, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like knowing that I'm going right in basketball and you can't stop me from going right.
And you still can't stop me? Like,
right.
So that's why Eminem is like kind of my first choice. Then we get into
Jay-Z,
Biggie.
Okay.
I feel like people don't give. Whenever I talk about very popular rappers, people seem to get like super offended when they be like, "Oh, well, such and such is popular, so you can't say." I'm like, "No, I can't." I don't feel like people give Big the certain credit that he deserves for how witty he was.
Right.
Like, even on commercialized records, like, you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which record was it? Was it Hypnotize?
Mm-hmm.
He's like the lyricism that he showed and showcased on
even
records
mainstream.
that were meant for mainstream. I'm like, yo, bro, like you got to give a motherfucker credit.
Right.
As a person who creates, I know that people like, sometimes you got to dumb shit down for the radio.
yeah.
But I'm like, the content might have been dumbed down or what he was speaking about, but I'm like, yo, he really rapping. Like, he really was like, he flipping them shits on there. I'm like, yo, it's a lot of like, so Biggie's like one of my third.
Mm-hmm.
Drake, which is always the most controversial choice.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
I'm listening.
We'll go into it.
I'm listening.
Drake, if you think of the time that Drake first emerged on the scene, 2009, 2010, he existed before then, you know what I mean? But really emerged on a mainstream scene.
Yeah, solidified himself.
The sound that he brought still bleeds through hip-hop. Now, it's 2018.
Are we talking mixtape or are we talking about?
We talking about what so far? We'll start with not so far. No, we'll start with so far gone. So far gone into Thank Me Later.
Okay.
The sound that him and 40 created still bleeds through hip hop today. 8 years later.
Right. It's a long time.
The very those very watery, underwater sounding basses, being just and that's a credit to 40 just as a producer and an engineer.
He always credits him.
But his artist, Drake's artistry is just like he's still one of the wittiest niggas rapping.
Right.
He's still, that's why I say skill and accolade. You know what I mean? I'm like,
he got both.
Now, the ghostwriting thing, which is always a kind of a
controversial
chink in his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
My argument to that would be, in this day and age in which we live in. In the age of information and, availability of information.
Right.
We don't live in an age of clean legacies anymore.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's going to be your last rapper with a clean legacy. And his legacy's not even, there's certain things.
As of thus far.
Yeah, he's the last rapper because he didn't grow up in that information age. You know what I mean? So he didn't come up in that age. So
did you hear when, what's his name? Off the Dipset, Cameron. Yeah. Remember when Cameron? Well, I don't know if you saw it. Cameron came out with the bike and stuff with Jay-Z. I mean? So,
but this
ain't nobody.
Now imagine. I give you this. Imagine if Ether came out when social media is as prevalent.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been I think how effective it was. Being ethered is still a term.
Yeah.
So if it came out during social media time, you know what I mean? It would have ripped them apart, and the distance between them. Just now, you get days.
Right.
As a premier artist, they don't care if you're on tour. They don't care about your personal shit.
Yeah.
If you get dissed and it's like effective enough, you have days.
But that actually shows how great Drake is as well.
Yeah.
He just lost.
Yeah, and then he comes back with the #1 album. #1 single after #1 single.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't take away from his artistry.
That's
when
true.
you talk about writing, let's talk about, you can't be, if has people credited for assistance in writing records. So how do we handle the records that he's written for people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So how do we handle that?
That should be a part of his body of work.
How do we handle that?
Mm-hmm.
Do we take away from those people that he's written for?
Right.
Or do we, most people just negate it and just, I'm like, you can't say that he doesn't write anything,
right, and
then he's credited for writing for other people.
Exactly.
And then far as that's concerned, it's like, there's videos on YouTube of Kanye West produced Lucifer on Blueprint 2.
Okay.
And there is a video online of Kanye West rapping the third bridge to him. I'm trying to get these devils out my line.
Right.
And then Jay-Z uses it on the song.
Right.
So how the fuck do we handle it? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But Jay-Z he emerged in an era where information was not so readily available to people.
Right.
So
his is less. He has less blemishes, or it's less noticeable of what his blemishes are. I think one factor to when it comes to writing or anything like that, like, because mind you, one of the deterrents for some people with Wayne is his voice, like the way that he sounds. But that also caters to some people. Like for me, if there's bars on your song, when you say it, even if I said the same thing, your voice will cater to more people.
This is what I said.
Even if you write it, you can't even do it. I can do it.
I had this argument about writing, and I kind of basically said the same thing. Right. And it's like one of my rap homies, and I think he kind of took offense, but it was in the you know when you're in the argument, you don't give a fuck. I'm like, yo, my nigga, we in a room. It's 5 rappers in here, bro. Mm-hmm. We can have somebody write a verse, right? Word for word, and we go in a booth and we all recite the same verse. I'm going to have the best verse. He couldn't grasp this concept. I'm like, bro, if we could all spit the same verse, I'm going to have the best verse.
Right.
That is a token to one's artistry.
Right.
How they convey themselves, how they flow, how they project themselves. It's like this all goes into being good and being the best. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, so that's what, like, artists like Drake, I just feel like his artistry just cannot be undermined just because of something like that, because now we're in an age where this types of stuff this information is readily available to everybody. It's not like we're changing the rules around him. It's just we have to change the rules of how we interpret things just because we're in an age where it's more readily available to us right now.
The standard should change.
Like
the standard can't be, does someone write for you? Or like even with basketball, you can't fuck with KD because you LeBron, you're supposed to be his opponent. Like if they want to play ball outside together, they can play ball. Like the rules that were of the past.
My fifth of all time, and I ain't super feeling him right now, but my fifth would be Kanye West, just because of his influence on hip hop sound.
I was about to say sound, or are you talking about like actual lyrics and bars?
No. I'm talking about just one's influence on the culture in direction of where it's headed. He introduced us to a lot of sounds. Like I said, when I say I'm not feeling it right now, like I honestly feel Chance the Rapper and Travis Scott are what Kanye West thinks he is musically. But we can't negate Kanye West's contribution, just because we're in a space where he's not the hottest topic or the, you know what I mean.
But he got what? He put out what 5-6 albums between other people. And then all of them. Okay, now
even that was weird. I felt like if you took the sum of those albums, right, and you took the dopest 3 off of them, and you sprinkled some Big Sean records and some other good music, you could have done the Cruel Summer album and just been done with it. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like it was necessary to drop 4 different projects, and the only one that got a proper rollout that sounded like concise, that it was well thought out, was Pusha's album.
Really? Yeah. I thought Nas album. But mind you, all of them are 7. I think that's one of my issues with Kanye.
Even if you want to give it a chance, by the time you get into it, like, you know what, we'll see where this goes. Shit, 7 songs and you done. And you're like, it left too much to be desired.
But do you know what the artist said that he did that for? His intent. when Pusha and all of them was on the Breakfast Club in different interviews, what they said was, you have to be at 15 minutes to get a Grammy. Like the fact that Kanye was like, we'll put out only what's enough to get a Grammy.
Okay, so
another issue.
No, okay, so here's the thing.
I love.
So you want me as an artist, if I'm the artist, I'm saying, so you want me to kind of not fully be able to convey whatever it is I'm trying to convey to audiences, so that you can piss the people off at the Grammys. And those are my issues with Kanye. I'm like, yo, he does a lot of He's in a space of a lot of, and there's nothing wrong with this, because self-preservation is number one. I always say self-preservation is number one. You have to look out for yourself. But I'm like, but Nas has been looking to put out a project.
Well, he's got another one coming.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I seen that online, and I'm excited about that, because I'm like, because I felt like his album left a lot to be desired.
Too much. You know, How about Eminem's last project?
I wasn't super duper in love with it, because Eminem is just in a space a lot of artists find themselves. You're at such a level of just superstardom. Yeah, you have a legacy, and you're still existing. What the fuck? what the fuck do you give people at that? Like, you know what I mean? We talked about expectations earlier on camera. I'm like, yo, the expectation be so high. I'm like, what really can you do when you get to a certain space?
It's like he's a god, right? Legacy-wise. But then guess what? He's alive. So you're still human.
Yeah.
Like, so that's that element that we were talking about earlier.
You have to kind of, feed your own spirit, because as a musician, the hunger never dies. So you always want to create. Right. And then it's like when you get enticed or excited about what you're creating, you want to put out. But it's like he's such at a high level of, the level of expectation is so high for M. Right. When his new albums drop, like his last album dropped, I gave it a solid listen, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can respect this. I think it's dope, you know what I mean? Like, you're always going to get dope rapping from Eminem, you know what I mean? Without a question. So, and I have to interpret it for what it is, like, you know what I mean?
Especially the track with, it set the precedence with the one with Beyonce.
Yeah. He's walking on water.
Like, yo, your expectations is here, or you know what I mean?
It's hard to create in a space of like that kind of pressure, just because being an artist as big as Eminem is, and trying to create a concise composition of work to give people, and then you know what I mean. But it also elevate. You know what I mean? People want you to elevate the culture. People want you to. People want
expectations too.
People want you to, you know what I mean, and kind of do all these things through music, and it's just like, you can only cover so much ground and feed your own soul, you know what I mean, and feed yourself, like, most definitely, and make music that you're happy with, you know? And
so even if they don't like it, then you go with it. Now you got some music that you coming out with. Let them know exactly when the date drops.
Lightning in the Bottles.
Lightning in the Bottles
coming out August 15th.
Early.
Happens to be my birthday. So
early.
It's a dope way to celebrate my birthday this year. So
how do you feel about the project?
I have a certain level of angst. I'm anxious. I'm nervous. I'm scared. But I'm excited. I'm excited for people to really get to experience it. Like, it's some of the best work I've ever done.
Right. And where can they find it at? And
it'll be on Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal,
all of that.
If Apple Music is dragging their feet like sometimes they do, I might fucking throw it on SoundCloud just so people can get it faster. So
most definitely. But I appreciate it. I actually listened to it. It's everything. Izzy definitely signs off, even though I'm nobody, but them ears. Look, as far as lyricism, he's there. The content's there. The product is there. It's all quality. Talk heavy. Thank you for coming through. Yeah. Appreciate you. Most definitely.
I don't need a bear to chase me to get up in the morning. I don't sleep in. If I slept in, it's because I worked so hard the day before that I was tired and I couldn't get up in the clock.
I want it dead or alive. Long as my name live forever, I'm fine. Mike Jack, I remember the time I had nothing at all to ball with. Then all my dogs switch. I was frozen the moment I chose to stay focused. Now my flow potent is bold.